Hello there. This is Notes on Napkin Tarot. My name is Alice, and today we are going to explore some ideas around a 111 synchronicity. So, this is one of my first videos on this channel, and it's a different approach. I'm not an astrologer. I do feel like I have a strong connection with tarot, and I get a lot of downloads, and because of this, um, I try to tune into synchronicities. I try to get messages as they come to me, and when I'm able, I'll notice a bunch of synchronicities and pause and kind of um, see the patterns in that moment, right? So, what is it that the universe is trying to get me to notice right now? And so, when I have a moment on one of those days and one of those moments, I will jot down some notes on a napkin, just kind of what was coming up around those synchronicities and what were some of the numbers or what was a synchronicity that I was kind of noticing again and again. And this one actually came up a couple of weeks ago, and I've sort of come back to it today. So when I have a moment with the cards, I will sit up and really meditate on that for a little while, try to get myself back into that headspace, and then I will pre-shuffle some cards from a few different decks and use the message of the cards not only to frame the reading that's about to happen, but also to just continue to deepen my own meditation, my own exploration of the synchronicities and ideas that were happening at that moment when I wrote the note on the napkin. So hopefully this format works for you. If it does, please help me get into the algorithm, help spread these messages. So you can do that by commenting on this video. You can give me some constructive criticism. You can tell me if it resonates with you and how. You could like, you could subscribe. Anything along those lines is, of course, extremely helpful for me and for anyone else who might need this message. So for this one was pretty short and sweet, and I get a sense, especially from these cards, that this reading will be as well. This was a 111 note on a napkin, and it was centered around a sense of loss, of missing someone. I was noticing birds a lot, so birds might be significant here, and there was a sense of not feeling listened to, and also the number 15, if that is, I haven't figured out yet today why 15 was significant. Not yet, but we will see as the reading goes on. Or maybe it isn't significant to me. Maybe it's significant to somebody who's listening today. So, yeah, missing someone, birds, not feeling listened to. 15 for me is not in tarot, not even in numerology, but honestly, just in my heart, in my life, is a number of turning tides. And that might fit here, actually. So I'm going to set the notes aside and tell you about these pre-shuffled cards, and then we'll pull some cards from the tarot and see what comes through for us today. So if those notes on a napkin feel like that might be something that brought me here today, keep listening and see if these also seem to align. So again, it's wild to me when I pull a card, sometimes two, if the deck insists that I pull two, and they align so directly and clearly, not only with the notes that I wrote, but with one another. And that was what happened here. So from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, I have Shaolin Master. And this card really invites us to be still and to be graceful, to not charge forward or to draw from energies around us, but to, in stillness, connect to our own internal flow of energy. Where do we feel blocked inside of us? And where do we feel a lot of energy? Where are like the stores of our energy and our power within us? And how can we kind of continue to store those so that in the moment when we need that energy and that power to come forth, we can draw from that place? So this card invites us to navigate gracefully, to be still, to really listen to ourselves, to read ourselves, and to be ready to store that energy for when we need it. It also invites us to connect as much as we can with nature. So not only the nature of ourselves and our energy, but a lot of times we can understand that better by connecting with the natural elements of the world. we have Investigate from the Alice in Wonderland deck, which this is a beautiful card. There's a lot going on here. There we go. I know I said birds was one of the things that came up, and we see the egg here with a bird, and these kind of looks like a broken egg to me as well. We see a lot of nature in this, and we also kind of see this like ruins in the background, right? So tying into this sense of not feeling listened to and feeling a sense of loss or missing someone, this card invites us to not act just yet. So to pause and to ask a lot of questions, look closely, and really think before we act. And then from the Light Seers Tarot, we got the Three of Swords, which indicates heartbreak and a sense of loss, which again ties into the notes. And we also got the Emperor, which is a find your power, and it's a masculine energy of power. So that usually means being guided by your thoughts, but it also has to do with thinking before you act. It also has to do with like being very aware of the system in which you are going to act. So knowing that system well, observing it closely, asking questions, pausing and learning about the energy that you store within, all of those things are going to help you to be able to, to heal, right? But also to be able to move forward. So if that sounds relevant for you right now, then let's do this. I'm going to just do a 3-card. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I didn't have a lot of notes. Those cards that I pre-shuffled were pretty straightforward about healing. But maybe this can tell us a little bit more about what it is we're healing and what we're waiting to move forward with and what system we need to be aware of. Yeah, I'm going to draw all the cards before I connect with the energy, but just looking at that quickly, something very near and dear to you, some part of your life that felt like home has been disrupted. So appropriate. Oh. Okay. So yes, this card, the Ten of Cups, it's in reverse. It does tell us that something, so this is kind of home and, everything you've ever wanted, your family, your happily ever after, but in reverse, it means that there's some kind of block there. So something is pulled the rug out from under you. There is a sense of home that you've kind of lost, that you might be mourning recently. In terms of actions, we have the Four of Cups, which, I think makes sense. I think the figure here is taking stock, right? And cups are your emotions, that's your heart. So taking stock of kind of what they're feeling. And I think as that's happening, here comes an offer, right? Here comes like some hope or something that might be next. And you've got cups flowing right through all of this. So there's a sense of loss of that like wholeness and home. And you're looking at that and thinking about that. But there is this offering that maybe comes through with the Magician's, the ability to manifest. So you are able, after some reflection, to start to take some steps forward in healing and bringing into your life this happiness again, right? They say that by the end of the journey of the reading, the cards that were in reverse are turned the right way around. So you can come back to this feeling of home and completion. And you will. And you will with the Magician. And here's the card, the cup. So there's the cup being offered. And sure, we're going to pause for a moment and really think about and listen to our heart and think about what's going on. But here is this cup, and now here I am doing something amazing with this cup, right? So pulling this cup in with my resources and my thinking, my thoughts, my passion, my interests, and being able to bring into my life whatever it is that I need to heal and move forward and find that sense of home once again. Just curious to see if there's anything specific that Spirit wants to say about what this is. I mean, not for nothing, but there's 15, right? We have a 10, a 4, and a 1. So we've got our 15. But anything specific? Get one more card there. That's interesting. Okay, so I think for some of you, this is probably like quite literally a loss of a person that you cared about. So whether it's somebody who has moved on from the physical plane, or if it's somebody who just is no longer in your life. I think some of you that's in fact what you're mourning. I think for some others it might be an anticipated victory that didn't come, right? So something that you kind of thought was coming toward you in terms of an opportunity or victory and accomplishment, and other people probably were anticipating also coming toward you, and it didn't. And maybe that ties into this idea of not really feeling listened to. But I think pausing, taking stock, and when you're ready, moving forward with what's next, right? With the thing that you hear in your heart, with the actions that you've thought about as you took stock. And you'll have at that point stored your energy to be ready. There was a moment, I actually got a download from a dream very recently, that I feel is relevant. I don't even know why, but I feel is relevant to this reading. And in it, my father, who passed away 5 years ago, almost exactly 5 years ago. My father, who passed away about 5 years ago, was coming toward me, and he was holding a cup of coffee, and he was just like unsteady on his feet, which later in his years was sometimes the case. And he's walking and he's holding the coffee, and the coffee is spilling. It has spilled on his person and is spilling a little bit more, and he's focused on the coffee, and you can tell kind of just everything's going wrong. And I don't remember who I was with, but I was with two people in the dream, and all three of us run to go get napkins or paper towels to go and try to like clean up the coffee. And I realized when I woke up, and I still right now have such a clear image of his face, and he just looked in pain, not physical pain, but like in pain that he was struggling with something that, um, he knows and I know and we know like shouldn't be a struggle, but it was, and it was such a struggle for him in that moment. And the three people he knew who were there ran away because we were attending to the problem instead of the person. And that message has resonated with me so clearly ever since then. Is both in the sense of losing somebody, but also in the sense of when people come to us, when we're not feeling listened to, when maybe it feels like we were looked over for an opportunity, or we missed an opportunity that we thought was coming our way. Attend to the person, not the problem. So if the person that's hurting is you, attend to you, right? Find that energy inside. Take a moment to pause and to heal, to figure out what it is you truly want. And if the person is a person, either who you've recently lost or who is coming to you with a problem, or who you're going to with something, person first. So before you think about how you're going to deal without this person in your life, really think about what that person was to you and why. If you're going to somebody requesting something, or if somebody is coming to you with a problem, before you jump in, pause, tune into the person that's there. If the person's coming to you with a problem, make sure the person's okay before you deal with the external problem, right? The external problem is never actually, it just is. It's not really a problem. The only thing that makes it a problem is how we perceive it and process it, and how it affects us and whether or not we're okay. Heal the person. Connect with the person. Think about the person. Love the person. All right. Notes on a napkin. That's all I got for you today. It's pretty short and sweet. If this resonated with you again, please leave a comment or hit like or hit subscribe. I'd love to keep doing more of these for you.